Okay, so I'll explain you the functions and then I will come back with one by one. Right. CSTR. CSTR. Convert a value into string type. It will not convert the value, it converts a value into string type. That's it. Convert a value into string type. Okay, next, write down C byte. C byte. This function is used to convert an expression to byte type. Convert an expression to byte type. Byte. Byte is again a numeric, but if the number is 0 to 255, usually that will be considered as a byte. Next, write down cint. Cint. This function is used to convert a value into integer type. Convert a value into integer type. Next, write down C long lng, not completely C lng. Convert a value into long type. Convert a value into long type. C double DBL. Convert a value into double. Next, C date. C date. Convert a value into system defined date format. System defined date format. Okay. Next, write down is numeric. Is numeric. Checks whether the input is an or the variable is numeric or non-numeric. Variable is numeric or non-numeric. Is date. I think we have discussed already. Is date. Verifies whether input is a recognizable date format or not. Is empty. Is empty. Is date I think I already told, right, in the date functions, so no need to write again. Is empty. Is empty. What it says? Checks whether value is empty or non-empty. Input is a variable contains empty or non-empty. Next, is object, whether it's an object variable or non-object variable. Is object. Okay. Is null. Is null. Verifies whether the variable is a null or non-null. Okay. So these are like verifies whether the variable contains particular value or well not. I mean particular type of value. These are for the conversions. Okay, so these are for conversions. Also write down the other functions here. ABS. ABS. To get the ABS stands for absolute. Okay, to get the absolute value. Okay. Then round. Round. Use it to use it to round the number up to specific decimals. Round the number up to specific decimals. Specific decimals. Decimals. Decimal points. Okay. Next. Right on. Format date type. Format date type. Is used to retrieve display the date in a different format, date or time in a different format. Okay, write down format number. Format number. To format the number and round format or round the number to specific decimals as like round only. Same almost like a round only, but format as a number type. Format number is used to format as number type. Format as number type. Okay, so we almost discussed the other things. Okay. Right. So these are some of the formatting or conversion functions that we do have. Okay. Right. Let's go with the one by one function. What exactly that I told. So first we'll start with this example. I'll say here this is one value. Assume this is another value. If str equal to str1, then say message box both values are equal, else you say message box both values are not equal. Then now both are same or not same, equal or not equal. Why not equal? Okay, so value is same, right? But what happens is here the subtype will be, one will be taken as string, another will be taken as a numeric. So whatever, even though it is a string, even though it is a numeric value, but as soon as you give that value within double quote, then that will be treated as a string type of value, right? That will be taken as a string type of value. Now let's say here it says both values are not equal. But if somebody looks at it, they would be confusing. Like, see, now assume this str I have not directly written here. Assume I have written from application, right? I have written from application. So in the application, when you store the string, right? When you store the string, sorry, yeah, when you store this value, just say that. Okay, so let me take that. So let me develop a small screen here, just a very small screen. I'll say span 234 span. If you run this, now this assume that the value is being displayed, but I just displayed only this value, but in the application you will be having a lot of other fields, along with that this value will be there. Now assume this is the actual value displayed in the application, right? And this value, whatever the value is displayed here, this value you are taking into string, and this is whatever you have written as expected. Now we need to see the value which is generated in the application, the value which you are expecting, both are same or not. Now if you look at this value, right, it's displayed as a numeric only, right? It will not be coming within double quote or anything. Now you have given str1 as 234 and the value is come as 234. So when you execute the script, since I have given us 234, just remove this, okay, for a while. Now str1 is nothing but this value, right? And it will be an assumption that both will be equal, right? Because you have passed 234. In the application also value is given as 234 only. But when you execute that in the reality, then that will be shown as failed, saying that values are not matching. Then we'll be wondering why. This is one of the common thing that most of the people do the mistake in the reality. You will be getting this kind of validations when you're automating an application, and in one or other situation you will be getting this kind of scenario, right? Definitely your application might generate some number, you have passed it as a numeric because it's generating numeric value only. Then you compare it, then what will happen? Then it will be failed. It will say that okay, fine, they both are not matching. Then okay, some confusion happens, saying okay, why? Because both are same numbers, right? Both are same numbers here, then why it's not matching? Okay, so why they are not matching? Because yeah, so one is when you take a value from the application, when you take the value from application, then what will happen is it will be taken as a string type. Even though it is a numeric value, whenever you take the value from application, then it will be taken as a string type only directly. So in such cases, assume that you have passed here. What should we do? You have two options. One is either you convert the expected value into string, since the actual value is string, okay, you convert expected value into string type, one option. Or second option is, since expected value is numeric, convert the actual value into numeric type, right? Okay, so how do I do that? You say CSTR. Remember, CSTR will not convert, will not change the value. Value will be same, but only thing is internally the type will be changed to string type. That's it. Only the type will be changed to string type and value will be remain same only. Now let me execute this. What happened now? Earlier both were not equal, now both are equal. Why? Because now you converted the expected value into string type. So remember, always whenever you are comparing the values and you say that okay, application is generating the numeric value, then don't just keep as it is. You have to use this kind of conversion functions. Okay, now the first one is CSTR, or where it is converting into string type. Just convert a value into string type, that's nothing else. It will not change the value, nothing, only the type will be converted. Next, now the other option what you have is, instead of converting the expected value into string type, then what you can do is you can convert actual value into numeric type, because the expected is given. I mean, actual value also it's a numeric only, but since you know it we are taken from the application, by default subtype will be set as string. Okay, subtype will be set as string. So what you need to do is, sorry, save as, first use a C byte. Okay, now you can remove this. Now use C byte. Remember, byte can be 0 to 255. Byte value is 0 to 255. Okay, so the byte value will be like this, 2 power 8 minus 1. Okay, byte value is 2 power 8 minus 1. So what's the 2 power 8? 2 power 8, 256, right? 256. So it will be 255. Then integer value is 2 power 16 minus 1. Okay, int value is, byte is 2 power 8 minus 1, int value is 2 power 16 minus 1, long value is 2 power 32 minus 1. Okay, 2 power 32 minus 1. This is the range for byte, int and long. Okay, double can be bigger. Okay, fine. There is no limit for the double value. There is no limit for the double value. Okay, so now if 2 power 8 is nothing but 256 minus 1, byte is 0 to 0, starts from 0, it can be 0, maximum of 255, whereas int is minus 2 power 8 minus 1 to plus 2 power 8, sorry, minus 2 power 16 minus 1 to plus 2 power 16 minus 1. 2 power 16 is nothing but 32,768. That is the 2 power 16. Minus 1 in essence 32,767. That is the range for the integer. Minus 32,767 to plus 32,767. That is a int value. And long value could be a little bigger. As said, 2 power 32 minus 1. And that is also minus 2 plus. So that means that int and long can be negative also. negative to positive. So which means that, see, when you say byte as 0 to 255, int as minus 32,000 to plus 32,767, right? So the byte range is part of int, right? So a byte can be integer also. Now again, the integer range is within long range. So an integer can be long as well. Okay. Now, one more point you remember. This is very important point. Byte or long or integer. These three will not have any decimals. Will not have any decimals. Now, in case if your input contains the decimals, what will happen? It will not throw the error. It will round. Okay. So, in case if your input contains the decimals, it will round. Okay, remember this point, okay, which you will see it. Okay, now also c byte of str, not str, yeah, okay, so str only. I'm converting this into byte type. Now you say both values are equal. Now what I do is I'll say 264. Now can it convert into byte? That cannot, because what's a byte range? 255, right? But now it is 264. How 264 can be taken as a byte? It cannot taken as a byte. Now let's see what will happen. If you do that, it says that the error is overflow. So that means that the range of the number or the number what you have given there has gone beyond byte limit. And gone beyond byte limit. Got what I'm saying? So the even though it's, see, for the byte, now let's say here, okay, I'll test your manual testing skill. Okay, so now this is the byte function. What I told is byte range is 0 to 255. What could be the test conditions for this? Yeah, okay, okay. Boundary value of boundaries you take. Boundaries are 0 to 255. So 0 is the minimum boundary, 255 is the maximum boundary, and you go -1 and you go +1, and you take an average number. That's fine. These are the boundaries. And equivalence classes numeric, non-numeric. Right? Numeric is nothing but only digits. Non-numeric is maybe alphanumeric, alpha characters, or special characters. So any non-numeric is a negative here, negative input. It should contain only the numeric, only the digits in it. Okay, so then only it will be able to change the type. So it should not contain any alpha characters. So that means when and all it will throw the error C byte. One is if you pass the negative number, or if you pass the number which is beyond 255, that means 256 or above, and it will throw the error when you pass the non-numeric value. When you pass non-numeric value. Okay, so now when I pass 264, I mean which is beyond 255, throwing the error. Now when you take 4, -4 I'm giving, throwing the error again, -4 also. Now if you take some A1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. So that is a non-numeric, right? It's an alphanumeric. It says type mismatch. So you have to, whenever you need to understand the functions, first you take the test conditions. Then it will be easy for you to understand what is the valid input for this and when it works and when it is not, it should not work or it will not work. Okay, and there is one more here. There is one more test condition. I said bytes should not have any decimals, will not have any decimals, right? Then the another test condition is you have to test with the decimals, right? Okay, now let's see. Let me test with a decimal. Let's see what will happen. As I said, it will round, right? It should round. According to the expected result, it should round it. Now I'll say 45.7. That's what I've given. Message box, C byte of str. What will be the output when you round it? 45 or 46? 46 it should be, right? Forty nearest number. Now 45, 46, 47, 47. What happened? Okay. 40, 47 or 48? Who vote for 47 and who vote for 48? 47, huh? Okay, 48. Okay, I'll give 4.5. 5. 5? Okay, who vote for 5? Who vote for 4? 4. Just guess. It's 4. Okay. 6. What's happening? When you say dot 5, only for dot 5, this is, okay, it rounds to nearest even number. Okay, so what's happening is when you use dot 5, it's rounding to nearest even number. So when I say 4.5, what is the nearest even number? 4. When I say 5.5, what's the nearest even number? 6. That's applicable only for dot 5. Okay, no other number. Okay, so when it contains, when it has got the decimal as dot 5, then it rounds to nearest even number. That's the reason it's showing only the even number there. Okay, now next one is, assume that now your number goes a little bigger. Your number goes little bigger, not to 255. It might be a little bigger than what you expected earlier. So you say like this: str equal to somewhere 400. What should I do now? You can't use C by term, right? You can use C in term. Now actually it will work. It should work. Right? Okay, so should it work or should it not? I mean, should it be say that equal or not equal? Not equal. How many say not equal? Okay, how many say equal? Equal. Okay, so as I said, integer can be a negative number also, right? It takes the negative. But if you take it as positive, that should be absolute, not the integer. Right? So we have an absolute function, ABS function I told, right? To take the absolute value. Okay. So an integer can be a negative. It will not, integer will not convert from negative to positive. Because look at the integer range. What is the integer range? Minus 32,767 to plus 32,767, right? So that means that, okay, so it can be a negative number as well. So it doesn't need to convert. Since it can be negative, it doesn't need to convert into positive. So when you give a negative number, then what it will do? It will take it as a negative number only. It will not take it as a positive. So what is the str I have given? Minus 400, right? So when I take it as a minus 400, it will not convert into positive. It will not convert into positive. It will take it as a negative only. It will take it as a negative only. If you want to see that, I'm just displaying it. It's taken as minus 400 only. Remember, int will not convert from negative to positive. It will not. If it is negative number, it will be taken as negative only. Now, if you give like this, 4,000, it will work. Okay, 4,000 also it will work. Now I've given as 40,000. Then will it work or will it not? It should not. Why? Yeah, because int could be, int range is 32,767 to 32,767 to yeah, so from minus to plus. So that's what it is. Now 40,000 is gone beyond the range of it, right? Then it should throw the error like overflow. Yeah, similarly, it will also round as like byte only. In case if it contains the decimals, then it will take it as a byte. Okay. Now, in case if you feel that, okay, fine. If you feel number will not go beyond 255, number could be small always. If you are very much confident on it, then what function you can use? Byte. Or if you say that no, I think number might go a little bigger. Number might go a little bigger, but not too big, or some extent, maybe some thousands. Then you can use cint. I mean, if you say like somewhat bigger, but if you say okay, number could be even high, maybe assume that you're working for an finance based or some other things where the number is going too big, then you can use long. Okay, you can use long. Now, when you say long, this should work now. One minute. Yeah, so it is taking as long also will be taken as negative only. Long also will be taken as negative. So now the number can go a little bigger than this. Still okay. So it can be a much bigger. I can't say that number. Okay. So but it can be 2 power 32 minus. Fine. Now int, byte and long cannot have any decimals. As I said, if it contains the decimals, it will round it. But now let's take a situation. You are working for a finance based application or something where obviously there will be a lot of numerics generated, maybe a currency, all those things and all. I mean, some amount, all those numerics will be generated. Now you need to compare them, expected and actual. But how currency and all will be displayed, or some units and all will be displayed along with the decimals only, right? Right? Now you should not round them. You have to take as it is, right? You should take as it is. Now let's say if the price is 2.4 45 or 22.45, something like that, it should not be taken as 22, it should not be taken as 23, it should be taken as 22.45 only, right? But say now, okay, you have given it as a numeric type, but when you application will be taken as a string type. Now if you use cint or cbyte or clong, what will happen? What will happen? It will see the cbyte or clong or cint converting. Sorry, it's rounding the number. But your expected value you did not round. You have given actual value. So what you should do now? You need to take the actual value, exact value there. without rounding it. Remember, we don't have float here. We don't have float. Double and float is mixed. Double and float is mixed in VBScript. Okay, but in other language you have float, you have double. Depends on the size of the numbers again. Okay, float and double that we have there. But in VBScript, float and double are mixed. So you call it as a double. Whenever it contains the decimals, then that will be taken as a double value, right? Double value. Now in case if you say no, I should not round the number, I have to take without rounding it, then you say like, okay, 45 point something 70, something like that. You have this. Now message box C double of int actual amount. What happened here? It did not round it. Actually, the last zeros are eliminated. Okay. So without rounding it, take it. In case if you use C byte, then it will return as 46 with rounding. So if you say that no, it should not round the number, it should taken as exact value without rounding it, then you can use double. A double can have decimals. Okay, so it can have, and even with it cannot have. I mean, if you don't give also, that will be fine. It will accept. But if it contains decimals also, it will accept. C double. There is no range. The number can go any extent for the double. Okay, fine. So the C double, it will convert into double type. And one more is here, absolute. What is meant by absolute? Takes the exact value. If it is negative, when it is negative, it will take it as a positive, right? So that means it will take only the positive. Even though if you give a negative input, then it will, yeah. So, sorry? Yeah, it will be converted into absolute. That's it. Now you say absolute. When I say minus 45, when you give double, that's taken as negative. Double can be negative also. But same thing what I do here, it has taken positive. So if you have any decimals and all, you have two options. One is you take it as a double, but the difference between double and absolute is double will take the negative as well, whereas absolute takes only the positive. Also, sorry? Yeah. Okay, so somewhere. It says type mismatch. It should be numeric again. But there is one thing here for absolute. One more thing is it will work for the currency also, but currency can have only the dollar symbol. Okay, so no other currency symbol. Now let's say here what I'm doing, I'm using dollar something. Now what is absolute from it? It works only for the dollar. It eliminates the dollar and it will take 67.12. Only for the dollar it works in the currency. It will not work for rupee symbol. It will not work for no other symbol like euro or yen or anything. It will not work. Okay, so absolute will work or will take the exact value from it. Additional advantage with Absolute is when it contains the dollar symbol, it will eliminate the dollar symbol. Okay, I'm going a bit faster for these functions because we are getting up, we have to see them in the real situations. We have such kind of applications where we need to use them, and so that you can understand much better. Wait for some real scenarios to get. Okay, now when I say just take this function c bit or c in something. Now one of the precondition in the c byte, c int, c long, c double is input must be numeric, right? So in case if you provide a non-numeric value, what happens? It's throwing error, it throws error. But now, like that user, when assume that you are a non-technical person who is executing, and if it throws such kind of error, you will not be able to understand what is that error means. So in such cases, what you need to do is, instead of that throwing that kind of error to the user, your script, how it script your script should work, your script should prevent such errors. Instead of throwing that errors, your script should give some kind of messages to the user. Okay, this cannot be converted into byte or integer because this is a non-numeric value. If a message comes like this, then it will be easy for everybody to understand, right? Then the question is now, how do you check whether the input is numeric or non-numeric? Do we have a function called isNumeric? Did I tell just now in the list? What that isNumeric does? Verifies whether the input contains a numeric or non-numeric. Now, so whenever you are writing this, whenever you are doing this conversion, converting it to a byte or integer or double like that, just verify before you execute those functions. First, you need to write a condition. Condition is verify it is a numeric or non-numeric. Okay, if it is numeric, then you execute this function. If it is non-numeric, then don't execute this function. Getting what I'm saying? So this is called error handling, preventing the errors. Okay, also you call it as an error masking. Okay, so technically you call it as a error masking. Remember this, and tomorrow in case if you want to go for the certifications, this is one of the ISTQB certification question. Okay, what is error masking? Error masking is something like, when user provides a wrong input, or when some error generates, preventing that error or masking that error with some other condition is nothing but the error masking. So now what I do, instead of throwing that error, I will mask the error with message box. I'll say if is numeric of str equal to true, this returns true or false. If it is true, that means it's a numeric value. If it is not numeric, then you say a message box saying that conversion cannot happen, right? 1 minute. So I have made a syntax error. It should be then. If you are from Java background or .NET background, you can see some syntax change in the conditions. Okay, fine. So I will explain those little later. Okay. Now I will give. It's a non-numeric value, right? It's a non. Earlier it was throwing an error saying the type mismatch, but now let's see what will happen. Right? Instead of throwing an error, now it gives the message box. Why it is giving the message box now? Why not error? Because that method is not executing. So the method will be executed only when it is a numeric. So that means when it is a valid input. As soon as it finds a non-numeric value, then instead of throwing an error, what it does, it will display the message box saying that it's not a numeric value. Sorry. No, because see, is numeric, you can write without condition, you can take into a result another variable. But the thing is, you must have to validate it, right? Whether it's a numeric or not, true or false. True or false. Now let's say here. So that returns some output. What you're doing is you're just here, you're comparing the output, that's it. So if you don't compare, it will just return the output, that's it. What it is returning? False. So it's false, then obviously this will not be matching, it will come here and executes. Alphanumeric also false. Alphanumeric, negative. It's a numeric, but it cannot be converted. Okay, so you need to apply another condition. If it is 0 to 255, then only convert. I mean, I did not add those conditions because if I implement all the conditions without explaining conditional statements, that can go a bit complexity. So what is numeric doing? Just verifies whether the input is numeric or non-numeric. Similarly, you have is empty, is null, is object. We have seen is date already, right? Is date. Okay, so these three functions, keep it a while. Those are related to real-time scenarios again. When you're taking the assume that what you do, sometimes you take the values from an application. Assume that an application is generating an some value automatically, nothing but auto-generated value. So what you do now, you need to take the value which is generated by the application and you need to compare. Sometimes because of some defect or anything, application might not generate the value. When application might not generate the value, what happens? It will be empty. So before you do the comparison, first you need to verify whether the application generated the value or not. Then what you say, if is empty is false, then you validate it. If is empty is true, that means it generated empty value. Then you fail it, saying that okay, no value generated. And when the null will be, what is the difference between empty and null? There are two things, is empty and is null, right? So empty means ah, for empty memory is there, whereas for null memory also will not be placed. Okay, for empty memory will be there, but no value, right? But whereas null means memory also not allocated for it. Now normally when null is, you cannot assign null manually, but what happens is sometimes when you are automating an application or when you are dealing with the objects and all, you try to take an object from the application. When you try to take an object from the application by using some description, nothing but some properties or anything, then whatever the object that you are trying to retrieve, that object is not there in the application. Got what I'm saying? You are trying to retrieve or you are trying to fetch an object from the application. Whatever the object that you are trying to fetch is not there in the application. In such cases, the method whatever you use to retrieve the object, that method returns the null. So that means null, when the null will be returned, empty will be returned when you try to retrieve the value, it will return empty. But when you try to retrieve the object, if the object is not there, it will return null. Okay, so since we are not dealing with the objects as of now, I'm not able to show it. So wait till we discuss about applications. Okay, as soon as we start with the discussing about applications, you will may understand that what is that null, or what is that is null means. So is object, is empty, and is null. You keep some gap, maybe some 5 lines or 10 lines gap, so that I will come back with some real scenarios, so that you can write the scenarios and or syntax and all for it. Okay, now Yeah, so keep some maybe some 10 lines gap for these three functions. So some of the functions I will explain you later. So whatever the functions I explain you later, in case if I miss out any of this function, if I say that VBScript is completed at end of VBScript, you can ask me back. If 99.9% I will be covering all this, okay. But if I say if any function is not covered, okay, just you ask me saying that okay, this function is not covered, so that I can take back, I can move to another example and then I can explain you, okay, because this is too early for you to understand or to see those functions. Fine, because it will be diverted. I need to talk about objects. I need to talk about automation, all this, if I want to show them. Okay, next. So these are some conversion functions. CDate, right? Another one. What is CDate function? Convert into system date format, right? Convert into system date format. Now you say like this. I've given a date like this. A given date like this. Now your input is like this, but application accepts the date format according to your system, just to say that. But if you have given the input like this, then system may not accept. You have to convert into system date format. Then how exactly it works is here, message box cdate of str. What's happening here? What's the system date format? It's year, month, day. Now if I change to a different date format, let's see here, I'm just changing the format, date format here, and let's see, what happens here. I'll change to DDMMYYY. What happened? It's displaying according to the system date format. Okay, so it will not convert into any format, whatever you want. Remember, it will not convert into any format. Only whatever the format set by your system, then it will convert into only that. And for this, there is a precondition. As like we worked for date functions, right? Day or uh, date part or all these functions, month or year, all this. What was the precondition for that? It should be in recognizable date format, right? So this also requires a recognizable date format. Same condition, whatever the condition I told earlier, the same condition is applicable here. Okay, so the same condition is applicable. It should be in recognizable date format. Now we say August 2000, then what will be the output? 1st August. Yeah, it has taken us first. Now in case if we give like this, it has taken us current year. You can also do this way. You can say, you can give in any format, no problem. It's convert into this format. Now you can give, okay. So what's happening here? It has taken as DDML. So you can give in any format, no problem. Okay. So CDate is used to convert into system date format. That's it. Next, these are some conversion functions that we do have. I'm going a bit faster because those are a bit straightforward functions. Another functions are what I told, round. Round. What does that mean? Round? We already know it. Rounding a number. So round is rounding a number. So now let's say here str equal to I want to round this number. You can give anything. It can be numeric also. I want to round this number to two decimals, or I want to round this number to three decimals like that. So what you need to do is, no need to worry. So what I do is round two inputs for this. One is what is the number. Second one is number of decimals. I have given us three. Three means three decimals. So what will be the output now? 3451 dot 60606 it should be, right? 606, because if this is greater than 5 or equal to 5, then 1 will be added. Basic maths, right? 606. Now if you give 261, now 3452, you are rounding to 0 decimals. That's optional, a number of decimals. Now 3452 0 it would be. By default, if you don't give any decimals, then by default it will taken as 0. Okay, so try with negative. Throw there. You cannot round to minus, right? So minimum 0 it should be. And now let's say how many decimals I have in the number? How many decimals I have in that number? Okay, so what I am doing now? I am asking to round to two decimals where only one decimal is available. What will be the output? It will add. It will not add zeros. Okay, if the number of decimals you requested for is less than available decimals, assume that available decimals are 3, number of decimals you requested are 4, then it will take 3 only. Number of decimals available are 3, you requested for 2, then it will take 2, whatever is list. Okay, remember, whatever is list it will take. So round is used to round a number up to specific decimals. Okay, getting what I'm saying here? Right. Now there is an interview question. Same thing. I want to round the number. In case if number of decimals what I have requested is greater than available decimals. That means if there are two decimals available, I requested for 4 decimals, and I should get 4 decimals. If whatever the whatever the decimals are less, then it should add zeros there. Got my question? But round will not do that. It will take whatever is list, whether the number what you have given or available decimals. What is less? If available decimals are less than your number, it will take available decimals. If your number is less than available decimals, it will take the number what you have given. That's it. Okay. Now, if you want to add zeros, you can't use round function. For that, there is one more function. What is that? What is the function I told? The format number, right? Format number. So now you say format number. So what it is doing? It's adding 0. Also you can see here when I said 3451 3 comma 451 it has come. It converted into number format. If number of decimals are less than given number, then it will add this many decimals. I mean zeros. It will add this many zeros. Since I requested for 2 decimals, there is only 1 decimal available. It will add 1 0. If you requested for 3 decimals, if there is only 1 decimal, then it will add 2 zeros. Okay. So format number, usually it converts into a number format. Right? If it is 10,000, then how the number should be 10 comma 3 zeros, right? When it is 1 lakh, 1 comma 0 0 comma, like this. So I mean that's how you write the number. So normally format number is used to convert into formatting type. Formatting convert into a number type or format as a number type. At the same time, the format number also uses the decimals. If number of decimals what you requested for is more than available decimals, how many are required? It will add this many zeros. And this is one of the interview question. That's it. And in the reality, we don't use much. But in interviews, this is something that which is expected. Okay. Now, one more function. I did not tell that. Write down that function. Int. This is also important function. Int int. And another function is fix. Fix. One is int int. These two are important functions. So one of the key interview questions. These are in the conversion functions. Int or fix. Okay, now what I need is in this, without rounding the number, I want to take only the integer part from it. There are two things, integer part and decimal part, right? So left side is the integer part of that number, right side is the decimal part. Now without rounding the number, I want to take the integer part. If you see int, what happens? It rounds it. 3452 it will become as. But I don't want to round it. That means I have to eliminate the decimals directly without rounding. Then function is int. Okay. Int function is used to retrieve the integer part of the number. Retrieve the integer part of the number without rounding. Integer part of the number without rounding. Okay. So now you say int of str. What should be the output? 3451. So it doesn't round it. Next, fix. Okay, write down a small note for this before you go for fix. Int will work only for the positive number. When it is negative number, it will round it. It will round it. So int will work only for positive number. But if it is positive number, it takes the integer part. When it is negative number, it will round. When it is negative number, it will round it. Okay. Now, in case if it is negative number, instead of using int, what you can do? Fix. Int and fix both are same. Both to retrieve the integer part, but int will work only for the positive number, whereas fix will work for both positive and negative. Now without rounding, it has taken. Okay. So int and fix both are same almost, but if it is negative number, you use fix. Okay. And the last function, right? What is that? Format date time. Format date time. Okay. So this function is used to convert a date into a different time, or date or time into a different format. It's not like converting the date, and it displays in a different format. Okay. Right. So you say save as format date time. Now when I say time in this, how the time is displayed? In 12-hour format normally. But if you want to display the time in 24-hour format, what will you do? Again we use format datetime function. Or when you say date, it will retrieve, it will display the date in system date format. But what I need is, sometimes I might need to display a long date. Long date in the sense, name of the day, right? Number of the month, name of the month, day number, and year, right? It's a long date, you call it as. So if you want to display the date in that format, then what you do? Format datetime. But remember, this function is not much helpful for us. Okay, not when it will be helpful is only for, because long date and all you don't use much, you don't pass. But sometimes you might need to pass the 24-hour format. In such cases, you can use this function, and the remaining it will not be helpful much. Okay. So for format datetime is used to convert the date or display the date in a different format. That's it. And total 5 formats it will work. Out of 5, 3 formats which we already see. One is to display both date and time, equivalent to now. Okay. Second one is to display date, system date format. Third one is to display time. Fourth one is to display 24-hour time. And another one is to display long date. That's it. Okay. There are 2 inputs for this function. Again, I'm telling that is not much useful. In case if they ask in interviews, you can tell this. Okay, so don't take this function as too serious. Format datetime. There will be 2 inputs. One is what is the date? You can directly give us now. Okay. Now, second one is in which format you want to display. Each format gets a number here. Number must be in between 0 to 4 only. As I told, 5 formats, right? First format will be 0. Last format will be 4. Now let's go with one by one. Four displays 24-hour format. Okay, when you give us 4, it displays 24. You don't need to remember these numbers, okay? Because people will not all this you can remember the function name, but remembering each and every possible input inside that function will become huge. We cannot do that. But in case if somebody asks what's a function you can use for converting into 24-hour format. You can tell the function name, but you don't need to tell that we need to give 4 or 3 or something, because it's difficult to remember. Okay, such things, if you are able to, as far as you are able to tell the function name, that will be more than enough for everybody. 3, regular time, 12-hour format. 2, regular date, system date format. 1, long date. Okay, so long date, again system date format. If you see here, long date I have given like this. Okay, so I don't have a different long date setting here. So normally long date you will be having in your system, Windows 8 or 7 and all, long date you will be having a different format. You see, month name, day name and all. So according to the different system setting, that it will display the long date. And 0 means normal date and time, equivalent to now. But instead of using format date now comma 0, you can directly say now. Instead of saying format date of now comma 2, you can directly say date. Instead of saying format date of now comma 3, you can directly say time. But this will work only, I mean, this is helpful for us only when you need 24-hour format. Otherwise, you don't need to use the function. Okay, so this is one of the function which we don't use much, right? Okay. Sorry. It will display now when it is, see, right now it is 11:20, but after once you cross maybe if you say 1:30 p.m, then that is equivalent to 13, right? So 13:30 p.m, something like that. Seconds will not come, seconds will not. Okay, right. So these are some conversion functions, not too much of useful. I mean, you are going to use them in the reality, but still very straightforward. And these are some functions which you are going to get plenty of the examples going forward. So real-time scenarios you will be getting. That's the reason I might have not taken too many examples for these functions. Okay, but by considering that, you are going to get many more. Because I don't want to spend too much time here itself, since we will be getting further. Okay, but we'll be entering into another important functions category, the last category. What is that? Array functions, which are very, very important again. These functions are very important. Some interview questions also expected on this. String functions and array functions are very important. Okay, now we'll go by scenario wise. Str equal to, I will write my mail ID here. Assume I got the mail ID like this, complete mail address. From this mail address, I need to take only ID. What do you do? Huh? That's right. Little louder. Wherever at the rate comes. Okay. So what you need to do now is, you can do it in two ways. This function, this one. One is, first you find where at is. How do you do that? By using instr, you can get the position of at. Then you can use left function. Left of this email to that instr position, -1. Right, -1, because at will retrieve position of this, but you have to retrieve till here only. Right, -1. Got this? What I told? You can use where that at symbol, instr of str comma at gives the position, maybe somewhere some 15 16 something that it will gives or sometime, and you can say that I this time left off str comma that position -1. Remember, these are important interview questions. I am considering for this everything what I explain is an interview question, most commonly asked questions also. Don't miss out. The second way is, now what you do, you split that string, you split the string whatever I have given with at symbol. You split that into you split that string with at symbol. Now when you split that with at symbol, then what will happen? That string will be divided into two, right? Left side is one and right side is another one. So this will become one value, this will become as another value, because you are splitting with at. Then you take the, when you split it, what will happen? It will be converting into two words. With two words will come into one array. Two words will be coming into one array. Then you take the first value of the array. What is the first value? Nothing but id. So another solution is you split with at, you split with at, and then take the first value, right? Let me take one by one. Another interview question is, you know how to reverse, right? What is the reverse? This reverses the string. Okay, an example. The interview question is like this. Is it reverse? It's not reverse exactly. The only the words position have to be reversed, has to be reversed. Inside the words, characters should not be reversed. How do you achieve this? Earlier, to reverse the characters, what did you do? We looked from first character to last character. We are taking one by one character, right? But now what you need to do is, here, when you want to achieve this, what you need to do, instead of taking one by one character, you should take one by one word, right? You should take one by one word, and you need to take one by one word, append it in reverse order. That's it. So that means instead of appending the character in reverse order, you need to append the word in reverse order, whole word. So to do this, take one by one word, what you need to do, you need to split that string into collection of words. How you can split now? Wherever the space has come, you need to split it. So you need to split that string by using space, and then take all the words into one array. Now loop from first value to last value in the array, nothing but first word to last word. Getting what I'm saying here? Okay, so another situation here. Okay. Something that I've written. Now I want to display only the numeric values in it. How do you do that? Only the numeric values. What are the numeric values? I have 100, 4000. Is numeric. But is numeric of what? You cannot take is numeric for whole string. What you need to do? You need to take one by one word, and each word you check is numeric. If any word is numeric is true, then you display it. Right? So first you take this, sorry, right. Then you take this, you take example, you take for, you take 100. For this is numeric will be true. Right? You count or you display it. Then check for times in VBScript, and for all this is numeric should be false. Now when you get 4000, Is numeric will be true, you display it. This is one thing. How many times a word has been repeated? Sorry, yeah, not how many times a word has been repeated. Yeah, how many numerics? Okay, one more example. Same string. Now, in this, another example is display the words which are started with uppercase letter. Display only the words which are started with uppercase letters. How do you do that? Okay. Now, so what I need here is I need to take one by one word. I need to take one by one word and check each word started with uppercase or not. What I can do, I can take ASCII. ASCII of each word is in between 65 to 90, right? Then it's an uppercase. So in all these situations, what you are doing, you need to take one by one word. How do you take one by one word? When you split it, you need to split that string so that all the split into collection of words, so that you will be able to take one by one word. So the question is here, how do you split it first? Then we can consider how many has come. First you need to split it. Write down the function. Function is split. Okay. Now we'll go with one by one. Word collection equal to, there are two two inputs for this function. One is str, second one is delimiter, you call it as. One is which string you need to split, second one is what is the delimiter. Delimiter is nothing but the criteria that you want to use to split it, whatever the criteria that you want. Now this one str with what is the criteria to split? At, right? Wherever at has come, so at is the delimiter, you can say. Delimiter, delimiter. Delimiter. Delimiter is the criteria we use to split. So now at is a delimiter. Now what happens is whenever you split, it will return an array. Whenever you split, it returns the array here. Array with collection of words. How many words it got split into? All the words will be grouped as an array and it will be returned as an array. Then this will be word collection will become as an array automatically. Since it is returning an array, as soon as you assign an array to a variable, then the variable will be automatically turned into array. But you ask me, we are not defined the size and all, right? but you don't need to define the size. Depends on how many words have come, the size will be automatically set for that. Now what will be the size of the array? How many words will be coming? Two values. When two values have come, what is the size of an array? 1, 0 and 1. 0 is the first value, 1 is the second value. I said word collection of 0. Right? Take more examples. This is one of the very important function. Okay, now if I say like this, now what I have to do? I need to split this with space, wherever the space has come. Now I need to loop through each and every word. Then I need to loop through each and every word. I need to display one by one, and I need to check whether it is a use numeric or not. How do I do that? Now how many words will be coming? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 means 12 is the index number. Okay. How do you loop from first value to last value in the array? 0 to 12, and you say that array of I will be starting from 0, should end with 12. Right? Now you say 0 to 12. Okay, I have written like this. Just you say for I equal to 1 to 0 to 12. Fine, that works. Str value equal to word collection of I value starting from 0. So word collection of 0 means first word, 1 second word, like that. Right. Now 0 to 12 works. If you say 0 to 12, it will not go to the last word. Right? Now, okay, so assume again you count and you increase the size. Maybe I have added 4 more. So you said 0 to 16 or 15, something. But if you give like that, again the string will be changed. You are not going to execute for the same string all the time, right? Maybe sometimes you will get a big paragraph where some 100 words also might come. Every time will you go and change the number there in the loop? If you do like that, then you're not a good programmer, and that's not a good script. Script should be adaptable. Always script should be adaptable in certain situations. So now what you should do is, okay, it depends on number of words that you have got, right? It depends on number of words you have got. If 5 words have come, array size will be automatically set to 4, right? Script should automatically execute from 0 to 4. Instead of saying 4, then you have to execute starting from 0 to maximum size of the array. It has to automatically execute. When you have got 20 words, then the index will be 19, right? It should automatically execute from 0 to 19. When you have got 200 words, it should execute from 0 to 199. That means 0 is being constant here, but that maximum index is being changed. You should manage that. You should not hard code it. You should not go and change every time. Then what should you do now? Then, so if you say that instead of you should not hard code, you should have a function to retrieve what is the maximum size of that array, right? Whatever the array you have, then that script should be able to retrieve the maximum index whatever has been set into the array, right? So then we can say, we can ask our script, say that, hey, I don't give the maximum size, I don't hard code it, you only get the maximum size, then you loop from 0 to this size, it should automatically fetch it. Then how that can be done? Write down the function called ubound. 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 So this function is used to retrieve the upper bound of the specified array dimension. Upper bound of the specified array dimension. Okay. So I will explain the functions and then I'll take the examples. These are something that which we should spend time. Okay, these functions are very important. Next, write down L bound. L bound. These are very important functions. L stands for lower bound. U stands for upper bound. Upper bound is nothing but upper boundary, nothing but the maximum index number. L bound is used to retrieve the lowest index number. What is the lowest index number? Lower boundary. By default, it's a 0. So L bound always returns 0 in VBScript. But there is VBA, I told in the beginning, right? There is a language called VBA, Visual Basic for Applications, which is very similar to VBScript. Both are siblings. In VBA, we have a non-zero based array also. Normally in VBScript, arrays are zero based. But in VBA, we can have non-zero based arrays. So such cases, L bound will work. That means that an lower boundary cannot be, not mandated to be 0 in VBA. Lower boundary can be, you can start with the -1, you can start with the -5, or you can start with the 5 to 10, something like that. You can define the array. Such cases, L bound works. But in VBScript, L bound returns 0. Okay, you learn this VBA when you design the macros. As an automation tester, sometimes you might need to work with the macros and all. Okay, so that time you will learn. As of now, just understand that in VBScript, it returns only 0 all the time. Because for any dimension, for any array, what is the lowest index number? 0 only. And next, join. Function name is join. Join. Split, join. Split means it's to split. Opposite to that, join. Okay. Join. This function is used. What split does exactly? What split does? You have a string. If you want to split into an array, use split. Join means you have an array. You want to join them into a string. Just opposite to split function. You have values in an array already. If you want to join that values into a string, then you can use join function. Remember, this join works only for the single dimensional array. Write a note. Join works only for the single dimensional array. So join is used to join the collection of values into a single string. Join the collection of values into a single string. Okay, so join. Next, write down erase. Erase. Erase all the values from an array. Erase all the value. Which one you're talking about? Erase all the values from an array. And write down a small note for this function. When we use erase for dynamic array, when we use erase function for dynamic array, it will erase the values it will erase the values as well as the memory as well as the memory. Okay, so that means when it is fixed size array, it will erase the values, all the values from an array. But when it is dynamic array, not only the values, it will erase the memory as well. Okay, so erase will work in a different way from fixed size to dynamic. For fixed size, only values. First definition is for fixed, it will erase all the values in the array. But when it is dynamic array, then it will erase the values as well as memory. Okay, then function name is array. Function name is array. I just wrote them. Name, function name itself an array. This function is used to convert a scalar variable into array variable. Convert a scalar variable to array variable. So assume you have already a scalar variable defined, and if you want to convert that scalar to array by assigning multiple values something, then you can use array function. You will see that how it works and all. Then the last function is filter. Now name itself says, what is that? Filter the values in the array based on the criteria. Okay, so these are some functions available. We'll stop this. Okay, so I just got some function, and tomorrow also, tomorrow would be at it's